From Tom Coronel in his independent Seat Leon. Right behind them, three more factory BMWs. We're ready for the race to start. Red lights are on, a long hold and away they go. Now let's see who shows strongly. Daste and Portero behind, trying to go down the inside of the Seats from outside the top eight. It's Jörg Müller in second. Prio's
four BMWs in front. You can see how well they started. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, Coronel already being jumped by Tarquini, and Zanardi made a really good start. He's in ahead of Coronel. Ahead of Müller as well has gone Daste.
Hernandez and Müller from Farfus and Prio.
Trouble for Coronel from behind. He's trying to stay out of the way, but without Daste getting to him, and Daste is right behind.
Yeah, Müller got Hernandez there, so now Jörg Müller leads the race.
Oh, and look behind, Ivan Müller in trouble because the independent BMW Portero is going through. So Jörg Müller leads from Sergio Hernandez, from Augusto Farfus and Andy Prio. All sorts of action behind, and it does look like the turbo diesel Seats, apart from Tarquini, are being shuffled backwards down the order by the independents. There are the Larders all at the back. We're riding with Portero. Right in front is the world champion, and at the moment he's in 10th place and just about clinging on to the lead train. Jörg Müller in front, so Müller's top and tailing the top 10. There's
Müller being hassled by Hernandez, then Farfus on his boot lid, and Andy Prio right in there as well, looking for a slice of the action. So the first Seat is Tarquini, yeah,
and he's on his own as well because he's got Zanardi behind him in a BMW in 6th. Then Coronel, Daste. There is one of the Chevrolets making up a place. Rob Huff goes by Tom Boardman. Oh, and Mehdi Benani spun out from behind, and that was a touch from Poulsen.
Was it not? I thought it was a ladder touched him.
Poulsen, it might have been one of the Larders. So the Larders right down at the back, which is the best placed of them, would have been Kirill Ladigan. He was right behind Benani at the second split. Prio's in trouble.
Yeah,
Prio has got
Tarquini's all over the back of Prio.
3 wide, that is Huff. Boardman
Boardman's trying to push him on the grass.
He's given him just enough room to survive. Prio hangs on in 4th, but Prio is being left behind. Oh, and Hernandez is defending against Prio, and that gives Tarquini a chance to get through. Tarquini is inside, and Prio can't do much about that. He's up against the buffer of 3 BMWs in front of him, but at the moment we're in danger of getting Tarquini onto a podium here, where BMW should be locking down all the points.
Well, he's cured the problem he had with the back end of that car, and he's on a flyer.
Hasn't he though? Now the question is, can he maintain that pace? Coronel snapping at the back of Zanardi. I'm still saying a petrol engine Seat run by the factory would be a regular race winner.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, and it would sound better,
and it would stop us having all these arguments about turbo boost pressure and everything else. But they've nailed their colours to the turbo diesel mast, and they're sticking with it until diesel is banned. Coronel is 7th, Daste is 8th. They're the top independents. Boardman was the 3rd independent in 16th. And Müller out shuffles Montero. Yep. Let's see what happens with Thiago. Where does he make the mistake?
He didn't. Ivan was just opportunistic.
Well, now, round those 2 corners this morning, I thought, well, I don't know if that's an overtaking position or not. That was Prio's. No, that was Hernandez drifting out wide. That's how Farfus picked up 2nd from Hernandez. Coronel using that extra little pinch and inch bit. Hernandez now down to 3rd. So Schnitzer BMW 1st and 2nd. Hernandez is struggling to keep that rear end in line, John.
I think Gabriele Tarquini is going to get Hernandez in a minute or 2 here. There's no doubt about that.
Zanardi pulling over to one side. Coronel, is he going to go by, or is that Zanardi being ultra-defensive?
Gabriele's lined him up again. A trip down the grass here for him.
Oh, blimey,
that car is very good on the brakes.
And very quick as well. He really came straight.
Well, he got a good toe out of the final corner and got right under his back bumper.
Now then, here's a chance for Prio. Yes, he's inside Hernandez and just gets a little tap into the back of Tarquini. Come on, Gabriele, get out the way, get out the way. See, that's that mid-corner problem that BMW have with the Seats, is they catch them mid-corner, but then the Seats get on the juice and they just pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've all got strengths and weaknesses at different points on the track, and the BMW is better through that midpoint in the corner.
Oh,
Andy's getting a bit ragged.
Yes, he really is, isn't he?
He needs to just calm down a little bit.
Well, he made a clean move inside Hernandez, who gave him room. Hernandez now with his own teammate Zanardi behind. So Schnitzer 1-2. Tarquini on his own in 3rd, representing Seat. Then BMW Team UK. Then the Royal Motorsport cars of BMW Italia Spain. Hernandez and Zanardi.
And Tarquini with no mates in there to give him a hand. He's got to do all of this on his own.
Like he cares if there's anyone else. Farfus for the lead inside Jörg. That makes sense. That is really clever racing, because Jörg just allowed the man who is second in the championship to potentially leave here with the championship lead by giving him the 10-point opportunity.
Well, he won't leave with the championship lead. He'd still be 1 point behind if Muller scored none at all. But
you're right.
He would still be better to do that. And Jörg is now, he's going to play the back, cover the back bumper, make sure nobody gets anywhere near him. Gabrielli's quietly going to quietly work away here, and it'll be interesting to see who's setting the fastest laps.
Montero goes by Coronel. That's to move into the points as well. Ivan's already up to 7th. Thiago up to 8th. So all 3 turbo diesels that scored in race 1 now back in the points. Coronel ahead of Daste, but Larini with a fire lit under his burner. And that is a very important move for BMW and the championship. John, we were just talking about the fact they really don't seem to be working the team game very well. Now Hernandez manages to find some room to let Zanardi through. Zanardi starts the move. Hernandez does not fight it. So for the first time all season, the first time in a very long while, we're starting to see some logical teamwork.
Their teammates, they shouldn't be doing, they shouldn't be kicking the life out of each other. But it's up to them now to make sure that the likes of Ivan Muller, as a BMW pack, ensure that Ivan Muller doesn't gain maximum points here today. And Gabrielli, there's not very much they can do about him at the moment. Just got to keep him off the top 2 steps of the podium.
With Ivan right behind Sergio Hernandez. Now Sergio's got to keep the tail end of that car under control, because Ivan Muller doesn't care how slippy slidey his car gets, he can still keep the nose in at the apex, and Hernandez is really feeling the pressure.
So the fastest BMW at the moment is Andy Prio. He's quickest guy, not the quickest lap, but his own personal best, and overall fastest for the race so far has been Augusto Farfus. So it did look like it was going to be Farfus's race.
Well, Hernandez is all over the road at the moment. That Royal Motorsport BMW is not looking comfortable. Ivan Muller's car looking much more planted through all the downhill and twisty braking sections, and that's really critical here. Now Farfus is going to go away from Jörg Muller, and Jörg won't drop back to battle with Tarquini, but he won't let him by if he can avoid it. Rob Huff here getting the squeeze from Franz Engstler.
Yeah, but Rob started back in 21st, and I mean he's still down in 18th, so he's not really making an awful lot of ground.
No, exactly. He just lost a place to Engstler as well.
Yeah, he needs to get his sleeves rolled up and get in there.
Well, you know, maybe now finally all that success weight that the Chevrolets have got is really hurting them here. Good start indeed. Look at that from Andy Prio. Launched straight by, but it's Gabriele Tarquini's getaway. Coronel was very slow off the line. That's really unlike Tom. That was not a good start by Tom. On board with Ivan. Look at Stefano Dasti and Felix Portero. They got by Thiago Montero. Zanardi started quickly as well, but Tarquini made a really good getaway, John.
It was a really good, clean start to the race.
On board with Andy Prio, Gabriele Tarquini is his target, and suddenly in the last lap, as you said, Tarquini, the fastest, Prio rather, the fastest man on the circuit, suddenly is not a second behind Tarquini. He's breathing in his diesel exhaust fumes. He's so close.
It's half a second. The only place that he can't get him, I don't think, is down into turn 1, because the BMWs are on the rev limiter. They won't get that extra speed. The Seats are much stronger down in there, but
he's going to have to wait for this. Drifting offline under braking in 14, and if he can just get out to the apex, he can't. Tarquini was on the juice anyway, so he'll have to follow him all the way down the straight. But Tarquini now maybe with a bit of pressure, we're just about half race distance on lap 6 of 13, and already that Seat is having trouble stopping.
Well, that BMW of Andy's, I mean, it turned in really well to the apex of that corner there. It's got lots and lots of front end.
And again, look, he knows the inside is shut. He's going outside to try and catch some more momentum to stay on terms with Tarquini through the twisty stuff. And this is gain.
Nick Larini getting put under pressure by Felix Portero.
Yeah, the BMW is really starting to get to grips with this Valencia circuit. And
I think it's the temperatures are helping them too. That they're not. they're not boiling hot temperatures. The track temperature's quite cool, and it's obviously suiting the tyre on the BMW, and they've certainly got plenty of turning. They look as though they've got loads of traction.
Very hot yesterday, and the track was really slippery, everybody said, because of the heat. Today, perhaps there's just more grip to be had, and maybe that's allowing the BMW actually to, for the first time here in Valencia, really use its traction advantage and its good front-end turn-in, because its tyres don't get worn so much. You can see a lot of understeer from Nicola Larini, really loads and loads. And meanwhile, Jordi Genet, who was very badly damaged in race 1, he picks up a place. He goes by Alain Menu for 13th. Stefano D'Aste passes Tom Coronel for the lead in the independents category. They're 9th and 10th, but D'Aste leads the Indies. And that's important for him, because he and Tom are 3rd and 4th in the series, and they were 25 points apart coming in here. D'Aste needs every point he can get. So you leads Jörg Muller, leads Tarquini, all sorts of action behind. Zanardi in 4th, and further down the field, I mean, this is Menu trying to hang on to a top 13 place ahead of Ricard Riedel. Riedel ahead of Genet.
If this race finished exactly as it is right now, with Augusta Farfus winning and Ivan Muller in 7th place, that would mean the championship points. Muller would have 57 points. Farfus would have 54. All of a sudden, you've got a very, very close lead for this lead in this championship.
Well, it's what the championship has needed for somebody other than Seat Turbo Diesels to do the winning. And there's that Kirill Ladigan again in trouble. He's
heading
really
for the paddock.
having a torrid time this weekend in the Lada. So they have. It looks like they've taken a significant step backwards, at least in luck. Andy Prio still battling Gabriele Tarquini for 3rd.
He's not giving up on him either.
No,
He's
absolutely.
Right all over him.
You're kidding me. There's a podium here, and Prio can already savour the champagne.
I think as far as they're concerned, they've just got a personal battle going on with Seat. They've just got to make sure that BMW do well here this weekend, get a better result, make Mario Tyson, the boss of BMW Motorsport, feel a touch better about it, and what better way of doing it than getting 1, 2, 3 on the podium.
And for all of us as well, for the fans that love to watch this racing, we need the ebb and flow. We need Seat winning races, we need BMW winning races, we need Chevrolet winning races, and so far the odd one out recently has been BMW.
Out of the top 6 cars here, only one is not a BMW.
Now, hang on a
Maybe
minute.
they could stop complaining about them not being fast enough.
Hang on a minute, this is Valencia. That can't be right. That's never happened before. It just doesn't happen. This is a front-wheel drive circuit. Well, whatever they've done this year, they have certainly got much more to grips with it. Tarquini can't catch Farfus and Muller, but Prio now 0.3 of a second apart at the line.
Well, if you go back to the race 1, where Gabriele Tarquini at about lap 9 started to struggle a bit with the back end of the car, if they haven't done very much to that car to help him, this could just be the same problem again. He might start to struggle with rear grip on the car, and that would give Andy the chance to pounce. Just all Andy will need will be a fraction of an inch, and poof, he'll be through.
Yeah, it just needs Gabriele to drift offline once under braking, and Prio will be right inside him at the apex. And it could be any corner on the track as well. There are so many difficult little corners, and Prio is still staying right with the Seat through the twisty stuff. And again, that's really piling the pressure on, because he's got inside and there's a left-hander coming up. Tarquini might be really in trouble. Prio's still in there. He's still in there. He's catching the grass as well. He's got the place, but can he hold on to it?
Yes.
Oh, look at that, over the curbs on the inside. Tarquini's coming back at him. Prio's got the line. He's got the run. He's got the right-hander coming up as well. Fantastic wheel-to-wheel action again, using the grass on the inside. He really is in determined mode, and Tarquini desperately trying to hang on.
That was a good piece of driving by both drivers.
Absolutely.
There. No touch and push and shove. That's professional racing. That's none of your cowboy stuff.
Yeah, no hint of the repeat of Oschersleben there, which is a little incident we'd best move on from. Great racing. This is Genet now with Menu, with Larini now, in fact. All three Chevrolets. That was Menu. All three Chevrolets really struggling. They've all managed this queue to get by Felix Portero, but he is now still right in the middle of this. There is Portero, the blue and white BMW. Still, these factory cars, are increasingly finding the independents this year. I'm not quite sure. It's the difference in weight breaks that the independents will be given. The independents are very competitive, and again Tarquini inside Prio for third place. The battle changes once more, and they are really being dropped by the lead pair, because you can see how close Zanardi is getting. Tarquini is not giving it up. He's back up to third, and Andy now with Alex Zanardi and Sergio Hernandez right behind him. The former world champion needs desperately to get onto the podium and get some more points, and Prio won't give this one up. He knows that Tarquini can be passed, and he knows that he must be passed again.
Rob Huff is languishing down on the back end of this pack at the moment. He's got a car that's running a second and a half a lap slower than his own teammates, so there's clearly something not right with that car.
Portero in the blue and white BMW is third in the independents category behind. Look at Boardman right across the track there trying to cut off Engstler. They are going for fourth in the independents category. And Ricard's car really tail happy there as well, and that's got to be encouraging, because if his car is stepping out a lot, then Tarquini's for Prio must be looking pretty much the same, very loose.
You see the little puffs of smoke from the back end of Gabrielli's car there, which has allowed Andy to get right alongside him again. He's just locking up the rear of the car, missed the apex by about a foot, and that's all Andy needs, is that little breath. An inch, and
but he needs it halfway through the lap, doesn't he? In the last corner's no good, because then the long straight allows Gabrielli a chance to come back at him, and it looks like Hernandez is thinking maybe his car's a bit quicker than Alex Zanardi's now, and he might like to be going by. Farfus leads from Muller, 5 seconds behind is the battle for third. There's wife Joe Prio watching.
Peter Walker from BMW GB.
Peter back as well, watching. He's now in semi-retirement, but enjoying this a lot. And he was in third, back down to fourth now. Zanardi, Hernandez, then Ivan Muller and Montero. So we now all have the 3 turbo diesel sets once more back in the points, ahead of independents Daste and Coronel. And Engstler's got by Boardman then for fourth place in the independents category. Ooh, that's Portero behind them. No, it's Postiglione. Okay.
Don't get excited.
No, too excited. And this is how it happened. Ooh, lurid slide from Boardman's car, carrying too much speed into corner 1. Tail drifting away there, John.
Yeah, that's just classic. Too much speed. And the thing you don't do with a front-wheel drive car when it gets loose is you don't lift off. You keep your toe right on the carpet. Do not lift.
Viktor Shapovalov of Russia is in 20th place. He is the lead Lada. We've already seen trouble for Kirill Ladigin and for Jaap van Lagen. Here's our race leader, Augusto Farfus, with Jörg Müller right behind him. Gabriele Tarquini still holding on from Andy Prio in third, but there's no question of either of those two winning the race. The win is going to come for Augusto Farfus. Jörg Müller, clearly, John, is not going to challenge him now. He could, quite possibly, but he just won't.
It just looks to me like Jörg does have a better car, but he's doing the rightful thing. He's following Augusto. He's just backing him up. There's no need. There's 20 car lengths there back to Gabriele Tarquini. But the problem now is for Andy, he's got Alex Zanardi in his bootlet. Is he having to watch him as much as chase Prio, as to chase Tarquini? And really, that's the problem. They should be concentrating going forward rather than watching what's behind.
Postiglione recovers from his gravelly trip in the final corner, but Marin Kolat goes by him. Another petrol engine Seat Leon, and Tom Boardman relieved of a little bit of pressure there, but it looks like Tom's car is not quite as quick as it could be. Certainly Daste and Coronel, the leaders, are a lot faster. Coronel's best lap time of 47.25, Tom's is a 47.82, so 6/10 they've got to find to match the best petrol Seat Leon. Tom using all the racing line there. That was pretty fair. I'm afraid Postiglione being a little ambitious around the outside, and he cost himself a place rather than gained himself. But
Gabrielli's still locking up back wheels here, and
but again, he's nailing it on the apexes, though, not giving Andy any chance.
The car's better. It looks much better than it did in the first race, but he's still a little bit loose on the back.
Menu goes past Larini, slightly irrelevant, 12th place, but of course when you've got a quicker car and you want to go by the car in front, it really doesn't matter what position you're in, you've still got to work hard for it.
They're battling for 12th and 13th place down there.
Yeah, and still just as hard as battling for third place. So on board with Prio, over the rise, down the hill in 13, into this heavy braking area for corner 14. Again, Prio very tantalisingly close. It's the difference between 6 points for third and 5 points for fourth. But John, it's a lot more than that, because it means stepping onto the podium for the first time all year or not. And that's going to be a big difference for Andy, particularly after the disappointments of Poe.
Yeah, but Andy's just had a shocker of a year. I mean, he's had no podiums. He's had one podium back in Pueblo.
Yes.
But other than that, he's had a torrid time, and he really does need, from a confidence point of view, I think, to get past Gabrielli, get himself on the podium, and then he'd just feel a whole heap better.
And of course, starting on pole at Poe would have made a big difference to his race weekend. He didn't, because of all the ructions that were going on in the paddock, and so felt pretty miffed by all that, especially when similar penalties should have been implied in the race and were not for 15 other cars. But nonetheless, he's in a position now where he might be able to put himself in the podium on the last lap of the race, maybe. Tom Boardman hanging on here ahead of Marin Colac. For 5th place in the independents category. Vito Postiglione right behind, and there is Felix Portero, who's 3rd in the Indies category. Prio drifts out wide again, carrying too much mid-corner speed, so it's all worrying moments. Boardman slowing dramatically. Postiglione goes by, Marin Colac goes by as well. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. So what's happened to Boardman's car? Well, they're still learning about this machine, his engineers, and something, he was going quite confidently into the corner on the exit. It was not working well for him. Well, this is Ricardo Rydell holding off Felix Portero, and despite the fact that Rydell had a car that he confidently thought could get on pole position, at the moment he's 14th and struggling to hold off an independent BMW, so there is a pretty good balance of power between some of these cars.
And his lap times are not very good either.
No. He hasn't got the setup here, but Tarquini has lived with what he's got, and onto the last lap is still 3rd. Farfus leads from Muller, and it's now crunch time from Prio. 0.4 of a second behind Tarquini at the line. This is not going to change, so let's go back to the battle between Tarquini and Prio, because it is very close indeed through corner 2. This is not helping us. The battle is behind for 3rd place. It's very important for Seat and also for BMW. Finally, Tarquini in 3rd, Prio with half a lap left. 2 or 3 potential opportunities, but Tarquini has been so tidy,
It looked like he got alongside him there, but he's just trying to get the run in the corner. And he just got a bit loose, too much oversteer there.
Maybe he's just worked the tyres a little hard in the opening couple of laps. Tarquini really looking much more comfortable, and this is making up for race 1. All little touch between the two of them, but it didn't do Andy any good. Couldn't find a way to get through. Couple of corners remaining.
I think this is Gabrielli's third place, I reckon.
Yeah, 2 third places in 2 races here this weekend for Gabriele Tarquini. Look like it's going to happen.
You can't actually fault Andy for trying. He is chewing on the back bumper of that thing for the last 8 laps.
Well, he certainly knows he's been in a race, Tarquini. So does Prio. Prio did get in front, stayed in front for a lap, but wasn't able to hold on. Farfus leads with headlights ablaze out of the final corner. Muller in 2nd place. It's a Schnitzer BMW 1-2, and it's been a long time since we've had one of those. Farfus wins. Muller in 2nd place. The race to the line. Tarquini will be on the podium again. The Schnitzer boys are very happy. Prio denied a podium. He's in 4th, Zanardi 5th, and Sergio Hernandez in 6th, ahead of Ivan Muller and Thiago Montero. So almost all our race 1 point scorers in the points again. Stefano D'Aste is our independent winner in 9th, ahead of Tom Coronel. So it is BMW, well, 3 BMWs on the podium and 1 Seat. Yes, long time since Charlie Lamb and the boys have had a 1-2 result for the BMW Team Deutschland operation. and some very sensible driving by the BMW teams. Farfus is absolutely beside himself with delight, just thrilled to bits. First race win of the season for Farfus and for BMW, and it's taken John to race 10 of 24 for them to get win number 1.
Yeah, I know, it's quite incredible that BMW, that have won 3 world championships, have taken this length of time to even win a race this year. But that really does shut the championship down now, because Ivan Muller's got 57 points and Augusta Farfus is second with 54, with Gabriele Tarquini